We are now 5 races into the season, and we'll be a third of the way through the season at the end of the day. But today is one of the biggest races of the season in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. The race that used to be at the Texas World Speedway, now at the Michigan International Speedway. It is going to be just as exciting as it always has been. 32 laps, 64 miles for one of the longest races of the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. This is the BC Rich Guitars 250 from the Michigan International Speedway in the 2024 Turkey Hill Truck Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Michigan for the 6th race of the season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and this is one that all these teams and drivers have had circled on their calendars since the season began. This is a bit of a wild card race, and it's a bit earlier in the season than it is with the Cup Series, so these guys are still a little bit closer to each other in the ratings. And realistically, any of these drivers can go to victory lane here today. But if you saw qualifying yesterday, you know that Blaine Keys, our points leader, starts on the pole here today. And it's going to be interesting to see if anyone can get around him in this race. But if the Cup race that we had back in August is any indication, this is going to be a fun and exhilarating race here today at the Michigan International Speedway. Join alongside Matt Tuck once again. And Matt, your team has had a lot of success as of late. What does Blaine need to do to keep the race lead here in Michigan and keep all these drivers behind him at a high-speed track such as this one?
Well, I mean, we've seen here over the past couple of seasons, especially since the ratings have taken over here in the series, Michigan is a very interesting racetrack, and track position can play very important here, especially in this shorter length race than what we see in the IndyCar Series and the Cup Series. So I think Blaine's got to keep the nose clean, not let that bottom lane become open to get absolutely sent on, but he's going to have himself a fight up here today. There's a lot of strong trucks up here.
And the one interesting thing about Michigan, and I think a big reason why it is such an equalizing racetrack, is the high grip line is very narrow, and it's very easy to get out of that line. We actually saw it yesterday in the Fast 6. Derek Hamill, Caleb Rose, Duncan Ward all overshot the corner just enough to be the 4th through 6th drivers. Keys, Andrew Williams, Justice Idell did not do that in their qualifying runs, and half of the drivers did it in the single truck run. So how many of them will do it here today? It's a very narrow line through the middle there, and if you get out of it just enough, up you go. And we have a sunny racetrack here once again. And Nathan's theory about this racetrack being better under the sun versus under the clouds is absolutely correct, and we should anticipate a very exhilarating race here today, considering the weather conditions. Blaine Keys hopes that it's not exhilarating, and he does what Kyle Larson did at Bristol last weekend and lead nearly every lap, because he is the points leader by 3 points, though it says 2 right there. He did win the pole for this race, so he has 161 points towards the championship. Thomas Troxel 3 points behind. Then you got Nicholas Samedeo, the Atlanta winner, 13 behind. Those 3 drivers definitely seem to be the 3 championship favorites at this point in the season. But you also have Leonard Koshmer, 30 points behind, I should say. And then Emily DeBenedetti, Jack Haas, Zachary Fitzwater, all great seasons up to this point, all 39 points behind. They're already almost a full race win behind our points leader, and we're only 5 races into the season. So they're going to have to step it up here or hope that something happens to this top 3 in this race if they're really going to keep it going throughout the rest of the season. But still 13 races left to go until we crown a champion on Christmas Day at Homestead. But it's already looking like those Gradden Autosport trucks, those ERR trucks, are some of the fastest. But some of the drivers starting up front in this race include the Broke Boys Garage team of Andrew Williams and Caleb Rose. Both drivers made it into the Fast 6 yesterday, and they both start in the top 5 for this race. And Andrew Williams, the one with the outside pole, just barely missing out on the pole from Blaine Keys. But this is a huge opportunity for Andrew. I know he would absolutely love to rebound his season at his 32nd in points coming into this one here today. Justin Zidell as well. This is a home race for him there for TP Motorsports. This team has done an excellent job in qualifying, but they don't necessarily have the results to show for it quite yet. He's alongside Derek Hamill there in row number 2. You got Caleb Rose, who's 1 career win on the channel. I think it's just 1 career win for him. Came here in the IndyCar Series last year. He'd love to get another one there and turn his season around, as he is 29th in points coming into this race, and Duncan Ward making into the Fast 6, a great starting position for him, as he has finished top 10 the past 2 races. You got Joe Rutkowski, the 2021 champ of the series, actually 2020 champ of the series that ran into 2021 that year. And he's alongside Christian Vargas. You got Corey Case and Leonard Koshmer rounding up the top 10. There's Ladovic starting in 12th, one of your drivers. And Matt, a lot of strong drivers up front, but also some new faces. Who do you think is getting it done here in this BC Rich Guitars 250 at Michigan?
Well, I'm going to go with somebody that we saw up front a lot last season. I'm not going to go with Blaine, but a lot of last season was Blaine, Logan, and Andrew. Today, the winner's going to come from the outside of the front row, and Andrew Williams, I think, takes the 11 back to victory lane.
And he did get 2 wins last season, both on high-speed racetracks with Durrani Racing. This is a team that has not found their footing quite yet, but they found it yesterday in qualifying. Will they hold it in the race? Here we go. Pace truck is down. 32 laps and a cycle of pit stops about halfway. We're green flag racing in the Irish Hills of Michigan at the end of September here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. And already nearly 5 wide as they come across the start-finish line. But how about that run from Andrew Williams on the outside lane to just blast by the number 1 of Blaine Keys right there. But this is the kind of racing we get here in Michigan, and they've got to be careful through these corners not to get into each other. They're 4 wide right in there, but somehow they keep it together here in Michigan.
I mean, we've seen a lot the past couple of seasons. They send it absolutely as many trucks as they can shove down there in turns 1 and 2. And 1 and 2 always seems to give you a lot of room to work. But Andrew Williams, what a great start to this race here in that 11. Broke Boys Garage, I don't know if they've brought some different upgrades, a different philosophy this week, but they're having a great start. Leonard Koshmer having a great start to this season. Nathan Stapleton's on the bottom. Justin Zeidel's gotten gobbled up here on that start. That 88 truck just has not had the pace here on the launch of this race. Ooh, but every time you watch this, as many times as I've watched it, it never ceases to amaze me how they don't wreck through that corner.
It's amazing what they do. But, of course, this is one of the fastest tracks we go to here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Remember, this race used to be at Texas World, and they'd always be bumping into each other there. Well, we didn't have a wreck in this race last year, but we also ran that thing under cooler temperatures, and we had a lot of grip out there. Not as much grip today, and that's why these guys slide around the way they do. Everyone's still in it, though, and it's Derek Hamill up to the 2nd position. And how about Ladovic Shred? Now, this is the kind of race she would win. It's been a tough start to the season for Ladovic here. 20th in points coming into this race and kind of choked away the win at Bristol last week to her teammate Blaine Keys. But she's got a great run for her right now, right behind Duncan Ward. And how about Duncan Ward here for Beacon Quantum Racing? All the way now up to the 2nd position in the battle there with Derek Hamill. That outside lane has a lot of grip here today. And Duncan Ward won the Sprint Series here back in August. He would love to get a race victory and stop the streak of the Grattan Autosport drivers winning as we have a caution. It looks like it was Eric Monaco and Andrew Miller that got into it there off the exit of turn 2. Philip Torres also with some damage. Skylar Taylor might have gotten a piece of that one. And our first caution of the day here at the Michigan International Speedway. Our first caution for cause in the Turkey Hill Truck Series since the opener event at Daytona. And are we going to see a little bit of strategy here?
What is the fuel window here today? I might have missed that.
About halfway, so even if these guys come down, everyone's still going to make another stop in this race. And this is interesting. Andrew Williams is staying out in the 11. We'll see if anyone else stays out. Oh boy, they left him out to dry right there. That's an interesting call for Andrew Williams. However, like I said, everyone's still going to have to make one more stop in this race. These guys coming down now, they can go a little bit longer. So Duncan Ward leads them down the pit lane here on lap 5 of 32. Let's see if any of these guys take tires as well. But Andrew Williams is going to be a sitting duck on this restart. But you got to keep that track position because everyone is still on that same cycle. All these guys, looks like they're going fuel,
Fuel
only
only?
as well. So this is an interesting
Strange.
strategy right here to maybe get a bit of an advantage in case another caution comes out. Andrew's going to have to pit before them. So Matthew Burnett and Jesse Turner also stayed out. So it'll be 3 drivers who stayed out. Duncan Ward won the race off the pit lane right there. Then Joe Rutkowski, Blaine Keys, Derek Hamill. Ludovic lost a couple of spots right there in the 2 machine. Very interesting stuff here in Michigan. We'll have to see how this ends up playing out, but we got a bit of a strategy race going on here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. Let's first go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution between Eric Monaco and Andrew Miller here on lap 4 at the Michigan International Speedway. Well, this is something that we expected to possibly happen here. The exit at turn number 2, you got Andrew Miller, Philip Torres, Eric Monaco just getting sandwiched into the corner. And up into the wall goes Miller, Torres, and the 28 of Monaco. That was it. Thankfully, not too many drivers involved in this accident. But it will, unfortunately, take out Eric Monaco. Just a bit too much damage on the 28 from that one. And the 69 machine getting sent around. He's going to have some damage and be a bit off the pace when we get back to racing here in Michigan.
Yeah, that, you can't do that. You just cannot do that there at Michigan. That's the, and Monaco and Torres. Monaco I feel like Monaco has got some really nice pace this year, and he does not get the results to back it up here for Stover, Brad Stover's team here. But
Tanner Parton's
another tough break. Tanner Parton, my bad. I blank sometimes, but that's a tough break there for Monaco. Wrong place, wrong time yet again.
Well, Andrew Williams is your race leader, and he did an interesting thing staying out. We'll have to see if that ends up affecting anything down the line, but he is still up front. Well, most of these other drivers came down the pit lane to top off for fuel. You got Matthew Burnett, who stayed out in the 14 all the way in the back, and Jesse Turner in the 83. So we'll have to see if that gives those drivers an advantage. Regardless of the fact, we know that Andrew Williams will lead us to the green flag. Let's see how it all goes down on the restart here in Michigan. We are back here at the Michigan International Speedway. Everybody is still in this race, except for Eric Monaco. Unfortunately, in the 28, not been a good season for Monaco, even though he's qualified well in a lot of these races. He's not been able to back it up with the finishes. And some interesting strategy there. Now, everyone will still have to make another stop in this race. About a 19-lap fuel run for these guys, a little bit just past halfway. So, Andrew Williams, Matthew Burnett, Jesse Turner. Of course, Williams was the race leader, but Burnett and Turner get the track position for staying out. Duncan Orr was the first one off the pit lane, but all these guys simply just topped off on fuel. You got Joe Rutkowski, Blaine Keys, Derek Hamill, Rogel Dorm, Ludovic Charette, and Roberto Crown Jr., the top 10 here. As we're about to restart on lap 8 of 32 here in the BC Rich Guitars 250, so not even a quarter of the way through this race yet, and already a ton of action here. But Andrew Williams has led every lap so far here in Michigan, and I know he'd love to get this one done for his owner, Braden Perez, here today, who has won a race here as a driver before. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening. But back underway on lap 8 of 32. We got ourselves 25 laps to go here in Michigan.
And we've seen a lot of different players here early on in this race. I mean, Andrew Williams, we see Matthew Burnett, who comes into this race 35th in points. Duncan Ward, 25th in the points. Jesse Turner actually has had a really solid start to the season for the Andrews Racing gang, which is really nice to see, especially after Turner's struggles in the Cup Series. Joe Rutkowski's up here in the 5th. But this is we got some of the Chevy teams who have not had great starts to the year really trying to take it to these Ford powerhouses of Andrews, Hamill, Velocitar, and Grattan here at the front of this race. And here, Beacon Quantum Racing about to go for the lead. Possibly a 1-2 here early on in this race.
And right there is exactly what we saw yesterday with some of the drivers trying to qualify, is getting into that gray stuff on the outside and losing it off the exit. And Matthew Burnett has taken the race lead away here on lap 9, but his teammate of Duncan Ward, who can go a little bit longer on fuel trying to work this inside lane, but that outside has a bunch of grip here today. Even more so than before. And Derek Hamill in the 51 coming down the pit lane. Is that a mechanical issue or a fuel issue? It is a fuel leak on the 51 of Derek Hamill. That's a tough one for Derek, who has been slipping in the points. He came into this race 22nd in the standings as Andrew Williams takes the race lead from the 14 with help from Joe Rutkowski. And get a bit of a gap right there as Rogaldorn leads the second pack. That's right around where Derek Hamill was. Blaine Keys also in the top 5 here, and watch out for Blaine, looking to go 2 in a row here in the Truck Series.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Derek Hamill's had some very unfortunate luck here to start this season. I really feel like he has shown some pace that is not, his pace is significantly better than what the results and his points position are showing. He's had a decent start to the year with some of this bad luck. But two guys who have not shown pace up to this point, but are showing great pace today, are these two Beacon Quantum Racing teammates of Matthew Burnett and Duncan Ward, absolutely battling it out here with two series veterans of Blaine Keys and Andrew Williams, who combined for a bunch of wins last season, and Rogaldorn has been able to eat up the draft. We're about to have 6, 7, 8 trucks here back up together here in just a few moments. This is going to get fun.
This is some good stuff here in Michigan. Andrew Williams is holding on to the race lead, though, ahead of Blaine Keys, and I know that 11 really, really wants this win, especially what happened to him in the Elimination Series back in August as well. Even though he did manage to keep on going in that series, he blew an engine from the race lead. Actually, no, blew a tire, from the race lead, because he was able to continue on. And you know how leading here in Michigan can be for some drivers. Andrew would love to lead the last lap without any of that happening, but Blaine Keys has other ideas. And finally, our pole sitter is going to get a lap led here in Michigan on lap 12, 20 laps to go. But like I mentioned, all these drivers still have to make another stop in this race. Turner in the outside wall. And, you know, we talk about the Ground Autosport Alliance, all those 4 teams under that umbrella. Well, there's another 4 team that is not under that umbrella, Ground Autosport, who has run very well. Oh, and in the wall goes Stapleton, and then the other Triad truck. Fitzwater and Logan Williams go around, and our second caution of the day here at Michigan. Race back to the line. Andrew Williams might have a shot at Blaine Keys at this. Oh, they're going to be close. But I don't think the 11's going to have enough momentum to beat Blaine at the line. Blaine is going to win the race back. And this should open the window for these guys to be able to make it to the end of the race. As I was about to say, just before I was rudely interrupted by the Triad Racing Organization, which is a team there that has had a lot of struggles this season. One of those 4 teams that has had a great run is Andrews Racing. And their 4 team, Jesse Turner, and then Emily DeBenedetti coming into this race tied 5th in the point standings, only 39 behind. This is one of the biggest surprises of the season. First career starts, and of course Alex Aventali, the development, the agent, I guess you can say, for DeBenedetti. First time he has run in a rating series with one of his drivers, and he has done an excellent job with that Andrews Racing organization here early on in this Truck Series season. And still plenty left to go here in Michigan, as everyone's going to come down here. They know they can make it to the end. And that worked out well for Burnett and for Turner, especially for Burnett, because Burnett's 3rd now in line. He gained all of that ground up, and now he's going to be right on the same cycle with everybody else here on fuel, so that's good news for the 14. Here we go with Blaine Keys leading us down the pit lane. And this will be the money stop for these guys as the window is open to make it to the end with these caution laps that we will have. So let's see how it all goes down. Will there be any tire changes as well for these guys here? It could get kind of interesting. And they will be changing tires. And oh, wow, look at that. Andrew Williams going with only left sides. Blaine going for the full 4 tire stop. Or is he? Uh-oh, there's a problem on the 1.
Brother. Oh, brother.
Then,
as always.
I'm not sure exactly what was going on there with Blaine, but a very slow stop for Keys. And it's going to give way to the race lead going back to Andrew Williams. Duncan Ward is 2nd, Joe Rutkowski, Roberto Crown Jr. in the top 5, and now Matthew Burnett rounds out the top 5. So a lot of drivers who we really have not seen much of this season running up front now. But Blaine is still very much in this. He could easily drive his way through the field with still half of the race left to go here in this BC Rich Guitars 250. Well, it's been a fun one so far here in Michigan, but already our second caution of the day. Let's see what happened to bring it out here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. And Justin Zeidel got out of the groove right here with Zachary Fitzwater. And on top of that, you had Nathan Stapleton behind this with Christian Vargas. We had multiple accidents here. And Zidell and Fitzwater get into it. Stapleton and Vargas got into it. They just got out of the groove enough where they lost it, and so did the driver to the inside of them. And there's just not enough room for those two trucks to occupy the same space. And Logan Williams, Zachary Fitzwater gets spun around, and then Stapleton in the 61. Too much damage on that 61. It has not been a good season for Triad Racing at all, especially for Logan Williams, who's dead last in points right now. And then Nathan Stapleton getting knocked out of this one here in Michigan. But Fitzwater and Williams will still be in it here once we restart, albeit they will have some damage that may slow them down once we get back to racing here in Michigan.
Yeah, we're going to watch Stapleton here. And then Triad Racing. I don't know what to say. This has not been the start for the year that I would have thought, especially for a team that was extremely strong last year. It just feels like anything that can go wrong for them to start this year. I mean, it has gone wrong here, and yet again here at Michigan, more wrong place, wrong time, and both trucks are involved.
And that definitely seems to be the case for a lot of these teams, including yours, Blaney. He's had a rough pit stop. He's going to restart midway through the field, but still a great opportunity for him to work his way through the field. He only restarts in the 13th position, and you can get that made up pretty quickly here at Michigan. But Andrew Williams has still been the dominant driver of the day. He won the race off the pit lane. Let's see what he does on the restart here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. And we are back once again here at the Michigan International Speedway. Andrew Williams is still the race leader. He has been the dominant driver of this race. He has led the most laps so far. And he is in control of this race. But Duncan Ward running second. Joe Rutkowski, Roberto Crown Jr., Matthew Burnett. Top five are all Chevys. Only one Chevy driver has gone to victory lane so far this season. That was Zachary Fitzwater in the opener at Daytona. The first Ford is Matthew Hubert in the 52. Caleb Rose is 7th. Leonard Kochmer, Jesse Turner, and Brian Webb, the top 10. Then it's Rogel, Ladovic Charette, and Blaine Keys in 13th. One driver we have not seen anything of. Actually, two drivers. Two of the top three drivers in points have really struggled here today. That is Nicholas Samedeo and Thomas Troxel, who are 22nd and 23rd, respectively. And Nathan Stapleton, unfortunately, out of the race from that incident. Everybody else still on the lead lap except for Derek Hamill and Eric Monaco, who had prior issues / wrecks. We're going to be halfway here across the line. Lap 17 of 32 for Andrew Williams. And these guys can make it to the end now. How will it all go down in these last 16 laps?
Well, I think all of these guys know that probably 1A, 1B, one of the fastest trucks on track is leading the race. The other fastest truck on the track is about 10 trucks back on this restart. So if you're these guys up here, Ward, Rutkowski, Burnett, Crown Jr., Hubert, I mean, nice to see him.
Someone didn't get going on the restart. And who was it?
Torres?
I don't know. I don't see anyone there. There was a gap. Somebody just simply didn't go, and it may have been, I don't know. That's, oh, no,
it looks like Philip Torres.
It is Philip Torres off the pace there. Probably dropped a cylinder, and he is holding up Nicholas Samedeo now, and I can't imagine he's happy about that. We got more carnage.
That's not good.
And it's Matthew Burnett in the 14. And they are running right into these guys. Skep Silver, Christian Vargas, Brian Webb. Is that Blaine Keys? It is. Blaine Keys caught up in this one as well, and already our third caution of the day. And the race back to the line will still be won. Actually, it's going to be won by Duncan Ward. We missed a lot right there. Missed a lot on that lap. And Blaine is going to be done. He is out of this race after that. Matthew Burnett as well. And it was a battle up front that went wrong somewhere. LJ Cemento also caught up. Andrew Miller with heavy damage. Brian Webb, Rogel Dorn, Christian Vargas all out of this race. Skep Silver, Logan Williams, and Philip Torres was already having an issue right there. And he is going to be now out of the race after plummeting right into that. My goodness, it's been a race of attrition here. And that took out a lot of drivers about halfway through this race here in Michigan. It's like we're back at Texas World with these guys going 3 wide and 4 wide and wrecking all the time. Crazy out here in Michigan right now.
Yeah, that was, I mean, those are some front runners. That wreck obviously happened at the front, initiated at the front of the pack, because as we came back around, I mean, 1-2 is now Duncan Ward and Roberto Crown Jr., which was not when we panned away. Tough break there for Keys. Obviously, y'all will see on the replay here in a minute what happened. That's a lot of trucks taken out, though, so there's a lot of trucks now out of this race. So I don't know if it's going to hurt him too bad in the points. I mean, I still don't see... Troxel's finally in the top 10, but I mean, Samadillo and Troxel still have to capitalize on that. So we'll see how this plays out for him in the points, but this is going to be interesting.
This is good for drivers. I mean, of course, Troxel and Samadillo, they're going to close in because they're both going to finish ahead of Keys in this race. But Emily De Benedetti is also going to benefit from this. Leonard Kochmer is going to benefit from this in the 39. Jack Haas in the 6 is also still... Well, where is he? I think he might have gotten caught up in that one as well. I don't see him anywhere. What happened? Oh, there he is. He's still going to be out there, but he's got some damage here. That was a big wreck, so let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the third caution of the day. This has been a wreck fest here in Michigan. We still got our front runners like Andrew Williams, Duncan Ward. They've been up front pretty much this entire race, but so was Matthew Burnett, and he got caught up in this one. Let's see how it all went down here about halfway through this BC Rich Guitars 250. And maybe just a little bit too much impatience for Blaine Keys, who was shoved in the middle there. Brian Webb did get up into him, though, and Rogadorn had nowhere to go, and Matthew Burnett, an innocent victim, and a hard wreck here for these 4 drivers. And that's a bad place to wreck, too, especially further up in the pack. LJ Sameto gets a piece of it in the 05. And Brian Webb, Matthew Burnett, Blaine Keys, Rogadorn, they're all going to be out of the race. There's someone in the smoke back in there that's going to run right into these guys. That's Philip Torres, who we were focusing on right there. Jack Haas ended up getting him the Sameto just ahead of all that. And then you got Skep Silver, Andrew Miller, Christian Vargas. Oh, my goodness. Andrew Miller going for a wild ride right there, and Philip Torres also getting flipped around. It's like we're back at Texas World. I mean, this is what we had back at old Texas World Speedway. Multiple wrecks, big wrecks, flips, what have you. But tough break for all these guys, especially Blaine Keys, Matthew Burnett, Rogadorn, Brian Webb, who were all running top 10 at the time. All 4 of them out of the race here at Michigan.
Well, we're going to see Rogadorn entered a little higher, and I mean, and the 99 drifts up, but the 1 probably should have backed out there, and that's, I mean, 4 very strong trucks all taken out there. Oh my goodness. That's a big old flip there. That is not a great, that's not a great situation there for Blaine. I mean, a tough break for all the guys who got involved there. Take some big trucks out of the race, and I think this is going to really shake this race up here, and we're going to see some new players here at the front.
Yeah, how about Duncan Ward, Roberto Crown Jr. up front? We'll have to see what they can do on the restart. Let's see how it all goes down here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. Back for the 3rd time here at the Michigan International Speedway. We only had 1 caution in the Wawa Cup Series race, and that was 50 laps in length. We've already had 3 here, and we're only 21 laps in. But we will restart with 11 laps to go here on the BC Rich Guitars 250. And this feels like the BC Rich Guitars 250s of the past there at old Texas World Speedway. They just keep on wrecking. We have a 4 or 5 lap green flag run, and we have a big wreck. And we had a massive wreck there. Out of the race include Blaine Keys, who will finish 26th in this race. Brian Webb, Christian Vargas, Rogadorn caught up in that one. Matthew Burnett, Philip Torres, Andrew Miller, Skep Silver, and of course, already out of the race included Nathan Stable and Derek Hamill and Eric Monaco. Only 25 drivers still in the race, all still on the lead lap, including Logan Williams there, who was caught up in that 2nd accident right there with his teammate of Nathan Stable. And Duncan Ward, Roberto Crown Jr., Andrew Williams, Caleb Rose, Matthew Hubert. A huge opportunity for all these drivers who have not had a good start to their season to pick back up and rebound here today. Let's see who gets it done here with 11 laps to go in Michigan.
Well, you got some drivers. This could be a very defining moment for their season. I don't know if some of the. Honestly, I don't really know if some of these top five right now have any real championship aspirations at the moment with how far the hole they have to dig out of. But hey, if you're going to start somewhere, you got to start now. Roberto Crown Jr. the past couple weeks has been really strong, taking it up to some of these front runners. And somebody who I think can capitalize on this is these two right here, the 39 and the 2. Koshmer and Charette. Pease is out of the picture. Sam Adio and Troxel have been non-factors today. I think these two are going to need... This is an opportunity for Koshmer and Charette to pounce.
And they're going to have a huge opportunity here to really gain in the points, especially Koshmer. Now, Charette, the driver, defending champion of the series, Wawa Cup Series champion, who we expect to really pick it up here as the season moves along. But 20th in points coming into this race. He's going to move up even further in the points. My goodness, you got Duncan Ward switching lanes mid-corner. That is not going to help your speed out. And look at the way they'll just jam it up off the exit. And Roberto Crown Jr. has cleared to the race lead. As you have Matthew Hubert, Bruno Diacomo, who won this race last year, is now top 10. His teammate of Rogaloren got caught up in that accident. Diacomo's on the apron right there going 4 wide on the inside. These guys are just super edgy here today. More so than they need to be. Now, you mentioned Sam Adio and Troxel kind of being non-factors. Well, they're both still top 15 right now. They're going to get good points, and one of those two will be your new points leader. More likely than not, it'll be Troxel, but it's going to be closer with Kochmer in the 39, and Emily DeBenedetti's is also going to close in that 57 if she can get around these drivers as well. But back to the race lead. This is a huge moment for Roberto Crown Jr. They're going for their first career win on the channel. They have been racing forever on the channel, it seems like, but they're going to wash it up. Here comes Williams to the inside. Caleb Rose as well on that inside lane. And that 01 might be able to clear going in the 3. But if they get this win today, that is going to be such a huge one for them. Racing on the channel for so long, getting your first win, 4 years of your career is a huge deal. Just ask LJ Sameta when he won the Daytona 500 in the Wawa Cup Series earlier this year. And Roberto's going to give it everything they got here on Andrew Williams, Caleb Rose, and Duncan Ward. And don't look now. Here comes Ladovic. She's up to 5th now in the 2 machine.
This is like as we were saying a little bit earlier, this is the prime opportunity for somebody to steal a victory here. And unironically...
Laura Chung!
Oh, no, that's
Emily
not good. That's not good.
And the 57 is going to get set into the outside wall. And Sam Adio got caught up, and Turner's in the inside wall hard. That was not a good lap for Andrews Racing.
Oh, no.
And we're going to have ourselves a late race restart here in Michigan. The 4th caution of the day. Andrew Williams wins the race back to the line. We're making up for all the clean races we've had so far this season. I tell you what. Oh, brother. What a wild day it has been here at Michigan.
You know, I was gonna say, I mean, you were talking about Sam Adio, Troxel, and DeBenedetти closing in the points, but I was gonna say, and didn't get a chance to. I mean, that's bold of you to assume that they wouldn't all end up potentially in an accident there, and DeBenedetti and Sam Adio. You know, I mean, both still going, so that's good, but I'd imagine those trucks are gonna have some damage here, and oh boy, Roberto Crown Jr. did not want to see that.
Actually, I kind of think they did.
I don't know.
This is going to give them an opportunity because they had just lost the lead to Williams. This will be interesting. And you can't count on Caleb Rose. How about Broke Boys Garage here today? They have just kept it clean. They're both top 3 right now. You got Duncan Ward, but then you got Ladovic. You got Ladovic Charette. The Grattan Autosport Alliance has gone 3 in a row. Will they go 4 in a row here? There's a good chance with Charette or Igor Barreto, for that matter, looking to become the first driver to win 2 races this season. Well, let's do it again. One more replay, hopefully be the last one. Here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. Emily DeBenedetti and Jesse Turner getting into it down the backstretch late in the going here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series in Michigan. And these guys, I tell you, they're just getting more and more aggressive as this race goes along. 4 wide. Further up, and then 4 wide here, and Bryce Egan washes it up. Gets in the Laura Chung right there. And Benedetti tried to save it. She did an excellent job trying to save this truck, but it's just so hard. Bouncing in between Giacomo and Laura Chung right there, and then that hit right there is just going to get her loose enough. She actually came back up, and then Bryce Egan again seals the deal for the caution. San Mateo has nowhere to go, and then Jesse Turner gets pushed down off the 23 of San Mateo. And that 83 is going to go straight for the inside wall. He completely loses it right there, trying to recorrect. That thing is gone. And, tough break there for Jesse and DeBenedetti. Both of the Andrews Racing trucks right there getting caught up in this one. A hard hit there for Jesse, but he'll still be able to continue. No one's going to get knocked out from this accident, thankfully. But it will send DeBenedetti and Turner a little bit further back in the order. The same with San Mateo in the 23.
Well, Laura Chung here on the outside. DeBenedetti, ooh, that's a big... You got to give DeBenedetti some credit. She really tried the absolute hardest to save that thing. And then Jesse Turner, bang. Andrews Racing team killer here late in the going. Both trucks can still roll away from it here, but they were having a really strong race, and they're not going to get the result that I think they were deserving here today. But Andrew Williams... The ball is in Broke Boys Garage Court here in these final couple laps. I mean, we're going to find out what he's got in that 11 machine.
We're going to have to see how all goes down for him. A huge opportunity for the driver who was dominated here today in Michigan. Will he get it done, or will it be somebody else? It's going to be 3 laps to go here in the BC Rich Guitars 250. Let's see who gets the win in the Truck Series at Michigan. Well, it's not every day you get a race like this. 4 cautions here in Michigan. But you know what? It's been a lot of fun here, and we only got 3 laps to go, and you got to hand it to Andrew Williams, Roberto Crown Jr., Caleb Rose, Duncan Ward, Ludovic Charette, Leonard Kochmer. They've all kept themselves in it. Same with Igor Beto, Joe Rakowski, Matthew Hubert, and Laura Chung, who actually kind of started that accident right there. You know, kind of wasn't her fault. They're all top 10 right now. I don't think anyone got knocked out from that accident. Everyone is still on the lead lap. And it will be 3 laps to go here at the Michigan International Speedway for the BC Rich Guitars 250 race victory. Andrew Williams has been the dominant driver. He is definitely the most deserving of this win based on what he has done here today. He has led the most laps. But Roberto Crown Jr., you know they want to get this win. It would be their first career win on the channel if they could pull it off. Caleb hasn't won in a while. Duncan Ward, Ludovic Charette, who is it going to be? A great restart for Andrew there with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, we have not seen the pace after this move to Broke Boys Garage at the start of the season has not yet to pan out here for Andrew Williams, but today could be the day that turns the tide on his season here. Roberto Crown Jr. wants that first win. Caleb Rose, first ever truck win he's going for. Duncan Ward, I mean, he's only been here for about 15 minutes. That would be awesome to see him get his first win. And that, I mean, Ludovic Charette, what can she do? But this is going to get fun. Here we go.
Andrew's going to wash it up quite a bit. And for the race lead, Roberto Crown Jr. has a run to the inside. And they're going to be side by side with 2 laps to go here in Michigan. Roberto Crown Jr. going to lead it at the line. Duncan Ward trying to follow suit on the inside. We're at the point of no return, so we get a caution. That's going to end the race, and who knows if that's going to happen or not. The way they've been racing here today, it's very possible. But once we take the white flag, that seals it. Duncan Ward's got to run, and here comes Ludovic and Igor. The 2 Granado Sport trucks right there to the inside. Of course, not on the official team, but you know they've got the speed, and here comes Ludovic trying to rip the inside as Duncan Ward has the outside lane. And the white flag will be displayed for Ludovic Charette here in Michigan. White flag, 1 lap to go in the BC Rich Guitars 250. Well, Duncan get a run in the outside lane. He is way too far up to get anything to work. This race is going to be between Ludovic Charette and Igor Barreto. And how about this for the Velocitar driver and the Web Racing Enterprises driver? Andrew Williams is 3rd, right behind these guys. But he's just a little bit too far behind. But Igor's going to have a shot here at this race win.
Here we go.
Ludovic's going to wash it up, but she's finally going to do it. It's going to be her first win of the season. The defending champion gets it done in the BC Rich Guitars 250 here in Michigan. That's 2 in a row for you, Matt. How about that?
Oh, my goodness. One driver's misfortune is the other driver's opportunity here at Michigan. And And I think we saw last weekend at Bristol, the pace is clearly there in the 2 truck, and today didn't have the starting spot, but comes home and takes advantage of the opportunity to score the victory here at Michigan.
And all that attrition is what gave her that opportunity to get that race win. Great run, though, for Igor Barreto.
Unbelievable run at the end.
I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere to get that second-place run. And Andrew Williams, you know, it's got to hurt not getting this win, but still a great run for him. Roberto Crown Jr., I know that's got to hurt for them, but still a great run. They're going to move up in the points. Duncan Ward, another top 10, and now a top 5 to add on to that. Leonard Kochmer, Caleb Rose, Laura Chung, Joe Rakowski, and Matthew Hubert. And after all that, it was still a Groton Autosport affiliated truck that went to victory lane. You guys got 4 in a row here. Oh boy. And I mean, a lot of it has to do with the drivers, of course. I mean, you have Blaine Keys and Ledovich running your team. I mean, they won a third of the Wawa Cup Series season this past year, so no wonder they're running up front. But that is Ledovich's first win of the season. She has definitely struggled early on, but now she's going to be on the upswing, especially after this one. We got Rockingham. She won at Charlotte last year coming up. Las Vegas isn't too far down the line either. And I know you got to be excited for that one. But a tough break for Blaine Keys, who had the misfortune in this one. He's going to lose the points lead. Points leader will go back to being Thomas Troxel, who finished 13th here today. And Nicholas Samedeo will probably still be second, but they kind of were just mid all day. They just didn't really have much going for him. But what a race here in Michigan. So many accidents, so many things going on. But at the end of the day, our defending Truck Series champion and Wawa Cup Series champion goes to victory lane here in Michigan.
No, and I mean, I think this is when we assembled this squad in the off-season. I mean, you know, there were obviously a lot of people joking about it, but, you know, we definitely felt that, you know, putting these two together, as we saw in the Cup Series, putting these two together should result in a very powerful combination. And we've already gotten a couple poles, back-to-back wins now. I think they would have had a shot to be double top 5 again had Blaine not gotten taken out in that accident. So a fantastic drive, though, from Charette. I mean, somebody that we definitely got to get praised. I know we talked about Williams and Crown Jr. having great runs, but Duncan Ward, I have no idea. He got some track. He had a great qualifying, a great weekend all around here for him. Top 5, awesome weekend for him. Beacon Quantum, even though the 14 didn't have the result, had some fantastic pace. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. But the champ is back on top. Mm-hmm. Imagine if Ledovich Charette wins 3 championships in a row. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not. It could happen. You never know.
It could. She has gotten off to a much worse start here in the Truck Series, and there's no point reset either. And she's still going to have to contend with her teammate Blaine Keys, Troxel, Samedeo, Leonard Kochmer as well. Watch out for Kochmer, who has had a great season up to this point. And I think Kochmer may actually, he's not going to get around Troxel, but he's going to be close. He's going to be close to those guys, and he's going to be right up there in the point standings. And just think, this is only Ledovich's 2nd career Truck Series win. It's kind of hard to believe, but she's only gotten 2 wins in the Truck Series. I do believe she'll have many more by the end of this year. And we're going to have to see if anyone other than the Groton Autosport affiliated teams will go to victory lane the rest of the season. We're just going to have to find out and see. But hey, you all have the same control. You can all do the same thing. You know, it's all up to you doing the ratings. And these guys at Groton Autosport, Team Velocitar, and Web Racing Enterprises, of course, they all have it figured out at the moment. But that's all for us here in Michigan. What a race it was. We got a busy week next week. We've got the Elimination Series from Talladega, Double Dega, the Grattan Industries Double Dega, I should mention, in the Body Armor Pro Series. And then next Saturday, you just can't get away from it, can you? I mean, you made who made the logo? Did you make it?
I made the logo. I made the logo.
So, you know, we got to go with it. And then, of course, we've got the Cheerwine 200 from Rockingham next Saturday at noon Eastern Time in the Zurich Truck Series. That'll be a fun one there. Completely different type of racetrack. High tire wear. Could be interesting right there, and we could possibly see somebody else maybe get the win. We'll have to see. Hey, we've yet to actually have a multi-time winner this season. 6 races, 6 different winners so far, so maybe the streak will continue next week at The Rock. We'll just have to see how it all goes down next week at noon Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Ludovic Stratton. Here are the points for the Turkey Hill Truck Series after 6 races. On behalf of Matt Tuck, I will see you guys later.